All right, so I want to talk about Sean Strickland calling out the Navy SEALs on what he thinks he can do, you know, that he's tougher than them or whatever the thing that he was trying to say is, which I don't even know because I can go so many different directions with this. And while I'm not military or anything like that, I train with military, I shoot with military, with guys that were in the SEAL teams and stuff like that, Rangers and law enforcement, so on and so forth. And I'm 62 years old, almost 62 years old, so I kind of know my way around things when it comes to hearing stupid shit like that. Not only that, Sean, I'm talking directly to you, man. Right? As a strength conditioning coach, I have trained and still do train many people, many fighters that are in UFC, Bellator, so on and so forth. And, I can tell you right now that, that we train hard. I'm probably pushed harder than most strength conditioning coaches out there. I'm not talking about skills. Whatever you guys do in the octagon, right, as far as, your rounds and everything like that, and getting in fresh bodies every round, I get that. I understand that. That's tough shit. That's hard. But here's the thing, bro, right? You fight with rules. You fight with a ref. You fight for time. And not only that, you're fighting for money, a lot of it. So it baffles me to think. Now, maybe you haven't even studied up on it. Maybe you haven't realized what these guys do and what these guys have gone through, right? Not for money, but for us. But for me, people like me to go out and be able to do the things that I do, right? Which is train with my firearms, and live in, well, a relatively still free country, right? But Sean, man, to think that you can go out there and spend 5 days out on, let's say, a hell week, and let me preface this. Do you know the difference? Are you speaking SEALs as in just overall special operations, Rangers, Green Beret, so on and so forth? Or are you just specifically talking about SEALs? Let's get that out of the way first, right? Because I don't think you can do it. I don't think you have, because most people don't. You've got less than 10% that make it through the SEAL teams as on a training protocol in buds, you know, and especially that hell week, man, is that last final week. And even though that, I'm only going by what I've studied and the guys that I've talked to who have gone through it, it's you couldn't do it. We're talking 10% of the people that go in. And so, and then we're talking about leading up to Hell Week, right? The training they go through leading up to Hell Week. And then after they go ahead and get through their SEAL training or their buds, right? Then they go on to a next phase, right? So look, in an octagon, I get it. With rules, you can probably beat them in hand-to-hand combat. But this is the thing, though, is they'll keep on coming back, and there is no bell. There is no stopping of the fight, right? There is nothing like that, right? They're trained to survive, right? You're trained to get paid, and that's the difference. Look, we agree a lot on your stance on how the country is. Something you can definitely say it a little bit better. And I get that you're an influencer and you want to create controversy and things like that, right? Now, look, I've seen enough of you to know you're a good fighter, right? But as an influencer, dude, I'm looking at videos to where you're calling out fucking Pro Bowl rodeo riders. There's a video out there that's talking about, how this guy was doing an interview, and how he thought that rodeo riders were the toughest men on the planet. And you came in. I don't know if it was set up or if it was what. But if it wasn't set up and you came in and you did that and you challenged a guy who's never fucking fought in a ring in his life, right, to a spar in an octagon, are in a ring? Are you there? Are you all there? Right? Because to me, what this looks like, it looks like total freaking insecurity. Insecurity. Like I said, man, we agree on a lot of things with this country. Probably most. I just say probably a little bit more articulate than you would. And some things I don't agree with you. But for the most part, we do. Why, if you feel this way about the country and in the direction that it's going, right, and your perceived patriotism of this country, why would you call out a members of our military, right? And maybe it's for an influence thing, maybe it's not, but to me, it just seems like just insecurity, man. I mean, that's so disrespectful. I can't even put into words, right? These guys go out and lose limbs. They watch their friends get blown up. They watch their brothers get killed, and them get injured themselves. And these guys are when they come home, they're the quiet guys in the front, and all I want to do is just be left alone. And this is my perception, and this is with me, not just following a lot of guys that are in special operations and listening to them and studying them and listening to them and then training with them, of course not on their level, but as me being a student and them being the instructor, right? That is so incredibly disrespectful to these guys that have served. And I don't know what your angle is. I don't know if you are just insecure or that insecure or what. Look, man, 2 years ago, I watched a video with you sparring with a guy at Ruka. Now, just to let you know, I know a lot of guys at Ruka. I'm local. I'm local here. I know where Ruka's at. I know some of the guys that train over at Ruka, right? I know Jason, right? And I know some of the guys that Jason has trained, some of the guys that I have put through camp, right? Have trained there or still train there, right? That fought in the UFC and that fought in Bellator, so on and so forth. I'm not going to say who because it's not important. If you want to contact me, I'd be more than happy to tell you, right? But we train hard, but it's a little bit different, right? 5 days of training for a camp is I'm gonna guess is not the same as not sleeping for 5 days, testing your mental acuity and your mental toughness, which I think is right there. Maybe you can get through it physically, but I don't think you'd have the mental capabilities of getting through it, right? Maybe you would just say, fuck it, I'm out of here. I don't know, but I'm going to take a guess and say no, because and based off of that video from 2 years ago, and maybe things have changed, I don't know, based off that video from 2 years ago when I can't remember Orlando Sanchez, right? When you guys were sparring, and I saw the video with the interview with Orlando, and he just said that that if he wanted to, he could have cranked down on it, and it was a respectful interview towards you. Which you guys came out all right, right? And look, I've with guys that I've trained, you know as well as I do, Sean, right? The guys get injured all the time when they're sparring, and it's unintentional. And if they do, and if it is intentional, it's maybe just to wake you up, right? Like Orlando said, you I've been with guys that have sparred, getting ready for fights, that have broken ribs, broken fingers, fucked up shoulders, but they keep on doing it, and they don't pull out. They don't back out of their session because of it. They go in there and they get fixed. I mean, depending how bad it is, they go in there, they get fixed. Either that or I fix them, right? And we get back right back into training, right? So imagine what it's like getting injured all the time doing a special operations training, right? The physical part, and then being pushed and pushed and pushed to get through that injury, whether it's a shin splint, whether it's a, whether it's an ankle, whether it's a knee, whether it's whatever, get up and do it, right? And and so I need to find out where your head's at on this. I don't know why you would disrespect um, our military like that. Anyway, hey guys, look, if this is kind of a rant video, I get it. Um, I would appreciate it if you have any comments or anything like that. Hit it down below. Please subscribe, hit the bell, and follow me. I got a lot more coming.